everyone, welcome back to our channel Chess Club Pobednik and also Chess Fundamentals Part 4. Stay with us and let's get started. So, today we're gonna learn the rules of our chess game. Like in other games we play, I'm sure, we need to follow the rules so we can have a fair enough game with our opponent. The same is with our chess game, and we have rules, of course, we need to follow. Those rules we have divided in 4 sections, and the first one is called the touch move rule. The touch move rule in chess says that if a player deliberately touches a piece, he must move it, as long as a legal move is available, of course. This means that the player can't touch the piece, then release it on its original square and play a move with another piece. In this position here, in our example, for example, we touched our knight and we must play with this piece. It's not allowed to touch a knight, then touch a pawn, then touch another pawn, then touch, for example, a bishop, and at the end we play with another touched pawn. So this is not allowed, and the rule says we need to play with our knight. This is very simple move. If we touch a knight, we must play with a knight, or if we touch this bishop here, for example, we must play with this bishop here. We also need to know when our move is finished. So, for example, if I touch this knight and I want to put it on here, on g5, and right now I'm holding this knight here, but this knight is not released from my hand. That means that I don't need to play on this square here. I can play on this square here, or I can play with on this square here, or this one here. So if my piece is not released from my hand, even though I touched the board, I don't need to play on this square g5. I can play on this one here, on this one here, or this one here. The next situation is, for example, when we touch a piece from our opponent, we need to capture this piece, even though that means that we are losing material. So if we touch this pawn here, we need to capture this pawn. The rule says that we must do that, even though, like I said, this means that we are losing material with this move. This is also important because, for example, if we touch this piece here, this bishop here on c5, and we have no legal moves, we don't have a piece to capture this bishop with, we just can play another legal move with our another pieces as we want. We also have another situation, and this is the rule that we must follow because it's very important, and this happens when we, for example, want to fix the position of our pieces. For example, if I want to fix position of my pawn here, I need, before I touch my piece, I need to say I adjust or j'adoube. So after that, I can touch my piece and fix position. If I touch my piece before I said I adjust, I need to move this piece because of the touch move rule in our chess game. The second section is called lines. So on our board, imaginary line between D file and E file divide our board on two equal parts. So imagine now that we have here a line, and with this line we can divide our board, like we earlier said, on a queen side and the king's side. So part to the left is queen side and part to the right is king's side. That means that the pieces from the left are queen's pieces. So we have a bishop, queen's bishop, queen's knight, queen's rook, also queen's pawn, and all the same is for white pieces. We have queen's pawn, queen's knight, queen's rook, bishop, etc. On the king side, we also have let's just say his pieces, and this is king's bishop, king's knight, king's rook, king's pawn, and all the same, like we said, all the same is for the white pieces. We also have a line between fourth and fifth row that divides our board into sections, also into sections. So this one here, up from the line, is a part where we have a black pieces, and down we have white pieces. If you're wondering how the pieces are divided on the board, I'm gonna tell you right now. We have divided our pieces in three sections. So the first group, let's just say the first group is the group of pawns. We have 8 pawns, and they are in our first group. The second section are light pieces. We have light pieces here, and these are knight and bishop. We have 2 knights and 2 bishops on our board at the beginning of our game. The next one, the third one is the group of heavy pieces, and heavy pieces on our board are rooks and our queen. Like we said, all the same is for the black pieces. Light pieces are knights and bishops, heavy pieces are rooks and our queen, and we have a group of pawns which represents our third group of pieces. The value of our pawns, like we said, is 1, which means this one here is worth 1 point, this one here also, this one here also is worth 1 point. Light pieces here on our board, their value is 3, which means this knight here is worth 3 points, and this one bishop is also worth 3 points. We have heavy pieces, which are rooks and our queen. The value of rooks is 5, which means this one here is worth 5, and this one here is also worth 5 points. Our queen is worth 9 or 10 points. When we write our moves on a special chess sheet, we don't need to write the whole name of our piece, but the first letter in their name. For example, for a rook, we can write an R, for a knight N, for a bishop B, for a queen Q, for our king we need to write K. For our pawns, because they have no name, we just write the square on our pawns R. So for example, we can write E4, and that means that we have moved our pawn to a square E4. For example, D3, C3, C4, etc. When we're talking about our piece's value, here is an example for you to better understand what I'm talking about. So, for example, if this bishop here, we know that his value is 3 points, and the value of this rook is 5 points. If this bishop here captures a rook who is worth 5 points, this is good for us, for white, because we gave our piece, which is worth 3 points, for a piece which is worth 5 points. So this is good for us, and bad, of course, for the black pieces. Here we have another situation, but the opposite situation, with our rook and a knight, for example. If this rook captures this knight, that's not good for us, because the rook's value is 5 and the knight's value is 3. So we gave our rook to have a knight, and we lose material in this position here. So this is not okay, not good for us. If we, for example, capture this knight here, and the black queen captures our bishop here on G7, we can say that we have an equal exchange, because we gave 3 points in order to gain 3 points. We also have a sacrifice here in our chess game, and by that I mean that we give our valuable piece, which can be a queen or a rook, because we know in the next few moves we can beat our opponent. The last one section is the center of our board. For our pieces, it's very important to be in the center of our board, because they are more powerful when they are in the center. So this queen controls a lot of squares on our board. On the other side, this queen here on H1 square controls only this line, this diagonally, and this row here. So as we can see, it's much better for our pieces to be in the center of the board. The same is for a rook. For example, in this position here we have our rook on E5, and he is controlling right now more squares than this rook here on H1. The knight. This knight here on E5 controls so many squares. He can go here, 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 also here, also here, and also here. But this one here on H1, for example, this knight can go only on B3 and C2. So he is controlling only 2 squares, and our knight in the center controlling 8 squares. In this example here, we have our king in the center of the board, and our king and at the edge of our board. So this king here controls eight squares, and this one only 3. We have also pawn. As we know, they capture diagonally. This pawn controls these 2 squares, and that one on the A1 is controlling only this one square B2. So that was all for today. I hope you enjoyed. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. See you next time. Bye.